In today's video, guys, I want to share with you the team that I'm running on DokiDoki Inferno. I'm not running Lily. I am not running freaking Kloss in there. No Yeli, no Siada. But of course, I am running Real Mocha because I do need to run something in there in order to make it happen. I do think that is one of the most budgetish friendly teams out there if you do have, of course, Real Mocha, because the rest of the characters that I'm using are not necessarily the most OP. I am using 3 SR units and I'm using Real Mocha plus another SSR. I'm quickly going to walk you through the team and everything else that you need to know about it. Of course, if I would have Kloss, my life would be so much easier. But unfortunately, I do not. She would make this a walk in the park. Basically, guys, easy 3 stars on it. Inferno. I do want to start by saying that it does not have 100% win rate. Like any other team in the game so far, I haven't seen a single team to be 100% win rate on any of the Inferno stages. You can get resisted, which is a 10% chance for it to happen. Things can go wrong. The good thing about it is that you only waste 1 stamina if you do get to fail a run. Sometimes I'm doing 10 runs, I fail 1 or 2. Sometimes I fail none. Sometimes I fail 4, 5, okay? It doesn't really matter as long as I can farm the most important gear early on, because we can still say that we are early on in Etheria restart, right? 3 weeks. It is pretty challenging to farm Inferno. Now, I've mentioned in plenty of different videos, guys, don't worry about Lily, because at the moment she is the cheat code that makes it easier for us to defeat the content without having somewhere decent gear. Now, this is, in a way or another, pretty budgetish as well on Real Mocha, because I only maxed her 3rd skill. I really do not want to put more lattice into her at the moment, even though that would make the run much, much better as well, because she would do much damage. She would do more damage, sorry. And it would be a bit faster as well. But leaving all that on the side, we are using Real Mocha as the main DPS. The stats on her are really not crazy. We have Fury, Momentum, we have the Count Shell. That's basically what enables you to make her go crazy. We have around a little bit under 3k attack, close to full crit rate. 85% crit rate is more than enough. And we have 293 crit damage. I will show you each one of the pieces at the end of the video, guys. Then we are running Marvel. Now, the only downside of this, guys, is that I had to 6-star my Marvel today. And that's mainly because I was doing it before with him at 5-star, but he wasn't fast enough. So the boss, the ads were moving in front, and the fail rate was much higher because they were either killing Dyna, either landing the decreased speed on Dyna, which was messing my entire tune up. And I decided to just go and 6-star Marvel to get that extra speed. Now, these enemies, they have 285 speed. As long as you have anything higher than that, you are going to outspeed them. One of the main things why this does fail a little bit and it has that higher chance to get resisted is because I need more effect accuracy on my Marvel. But at the moment, I do not have a better piece. So I'm using a flat piece with a triple roll on speed. My speed gear is absolutely trash, guys, okay? It's just rubbish. Then, we are going to use Dyna. You do need to follow the exact same order. So you have Marvel, you have Dyna, you have Kazuyo, and then you have Mitsukio, basically to boost. You can replace her as well if you want to for a different unit if your Real Mocha is faster. But we're going to discuss about that in a second. So Dyna, basically, speed, effect, accuracy, nothing else matters on her. The shells will be very important, but I'm going to explain you that in a second to why. Then we are running Kazuyo. She is built as well with Swift, not crazy speed on her and Dyna, and that's mainly because we have Marvel in here to drop the turn meter and apply the decreased speed on the enemies. Plus, of course, the decreased resistance, which will make their life much easier. She's at around 240 speed, more or less. 192 effect accuracy. Then we have Tsukiyomi. The whole idea with her, she needs to go after Marvel, Dyna, and Kazuyo. And that's mainly because she will boost the thermeter on the damage dealer. Seize the golden hour to grasp the best offense opportunity. Tsukiyomi increases the target's allied thermeter by 60% and applies attack and speed up for all allies. Now the speed up, it becomes irrelevant because we're going to one-shot the waves, or it can be very good for the next wave because if they are faster, they won't cut on us, okay? So we don't have to worry about that part either. It's much safer if we go in with an increased speed onto the next wave. So basically, the 60% thermeter will push Real Mocha to go in front of the enemies. So that means that you don't need to focus on a lot of speed. Just try to squeeze as much damage as possible. Now, if you do not have Tsukiyomi, guys, you can actually use, for example, Beontin. Beontin is really, really good. She will boost the damage even more because she gives you increased attack and increased crit damage on your Real Mocha. If you do not have Beontin either, we do have a few different units that buff the increased attack, increased crit rate. You can use Chiaki the Echo, that gives you thermeter and gives you the attack up. But then once again, she will allow you to do it with Real Mocha slower. If you're using Beontin, you need to make your Real Mocha faster to make sure the enemies will not take a turn before her so the slumber does not expire. Very, very important because the slumber is what makes this possible, because that will give us an additional damage boost on the enemies that are under slumber, okay? So you want them to be asleep, basically. So you could potentially use her as well, and that will give you the attack up. Freya is another option as well, but then you do have to tune it in a different way. You need to have Dinah and Freya go before Kazuyo, so then Kazuyo puts the sleep, and then straight after Real Mocha to come in. If one of the enemies wakes up, it's fine, as long as not all of them do, because you still want to make that big boom, basically, right? Then there is another SR, and that's Yang. You are getting him for free from the chest when you reach level 10, if I remember it correctly. That's when you get a chest. So he will buff the increased attack and increased crit rate. Now, once again, you do need to keep in mind that you need to have higher speeds on your Real Mocha. Somewhere at around 210, something like that. Now, if you are getting some decent gear on her and try to mix match somehow some speed, maybe a better shell, maybe you have a solid shell, right? But it still needs to be the count. If you can farm that dungeon on Inferno to basically get a triple matrix effect on your shell, that will go to 40 speed, and you can actually mix match different sets on her that will give her more speed and attack, okay? That's something to keep in mind. That's pretty much it. Let me just quickly show you how the team actually works. Now, Real Mocha does have the bonus of being strong elemental affinity, which of course will deal 15% additional final damage, and she will have an increase of 15% crit rate. That's why we do not have to build her in a different way. Now, as I was mentioning, shells are extremely, extremely important. And as you guys can probably notice, I have freaking 4 Codex shells. Not all of them maxed. You don't need all of them maxed. I would max the one on Marvel. I would max the one on Dinah, preferably if I can. Having 2 maxed is not a bad idea. And the truth be told, having 4 codexes maxed will not be a bad idea moving on from here, because you're going to be able to do tons of different strats where you're just one tapping the next wave, fight's over. And it might not be necessarily as impactful in every content, but 4 of them are good. Now, so early game, probably not necessarily the best idea to have 4 of them, but you will require 4 codexes for this. I will show you the levels on the shells and everything else in a second. So basically, Marvel goes in after the boss buffs. If we get resisted on decreased thermeter in here, that can create us a bit of issue. You see one enemy is taking a turn. It put a decreased attack, so this will be a fail. And that's mainly because Marvel does not have enough effect accuracy, as I've mentioned. Now, the problem is that she won't do enough damage to one-shot them now. If I could somehow bring in a cleanse at the same time with the increased attack and the buffs that we're getting from the other unit, that would be amazing. But unfortunately, we cannot, you see? So the damage is not enough. Now, I'm quickly going to give it a restart. Hopefully, Marvel will not do that. But the most thing the thing that I care the most is getting another freaking effect accuracy piece for Marvel with speed game. Okay, just give me one. There we go. We drop that. We have Dinah going in with defense down, the rest of the debuffs. Now, of course, if she decides to mess something up too and get resisted, that can be another problem based on what Real Mocha is targeting. Sometimes she has a very dumb AI, and instead of targeting the enemy with the highest amount of debuffs, she decides to target somebody else. You see, one tap, bang. Now the Codex comes in play. We already have the increased speed. Drop all of the Thermitter. We are moving in front. Dinah going in. I'm seeing some resist right there on the middle boss, which is pretty annoying because that's the tankiest one, but that's fine. Then we have, of course, the buff, the increased attack, Thermitter, increased speed. Real Mocha, who is she going to smash? There we go. The middle enemy survived because he had no defense down, okay? So that's a thing that will just slow us down. It's not a problem. We're not going to lose the fight because of it, because Real Mocha will reset that skill anyway. Bang, put him to sleep, right? GG's. Plus, he is always going to target Dinah because she's weak affinity. So it doesn't matter if he kills Dinah. Kazuya can put him to sleep later again. But that's how this team actually works, guys. Straight to the point, absolutely wipes them. You do need a 4 Codex in order to have the exact same skills available onto the second wave. And as you've probably noticed, my Real Mocha does not have crazy gear. Her first skill is not skilled up to get that extra attack, which it should be, to be honest, because that would be much better. Of course, the second skill too, because why not? Let's waste all of the freaking lattice in here. But either way, that's basically what you can do with this setup. Now, let me just quickly go over builds to show you how everything actually looks like. So starting with Real Mocha, okay? I only have maxed this skill. I do have a few levels onto here, but I do not want to put any lattice onto her at the moment. I have 3 of them, and I'm really not sure what I'm going to do. I was planning to do Ling Lu, but then I changed my mind. I was thinking to do Messiah. Then I'm kind of like in between, because I almost finished my Hyperlink Charter. I'm barely going to get any Legendary Lattice moving on from here, and I really need to be careful not to put it in the wrong unit. I'm looking now to make a team for Aurora Inferno. I need to do that as well because I haven't done it yet. I haven't really tried to, but I need to put a team up together for that, so that's why I'm saving them. Maybe I need to build a different unit or something like that. Modules. That's the helmet right there. Let me just move my big fat head out of the way. The helmet does look pretty good. It has the right substats. Now, the HP, unfortunately, rolled in there, so there isn't much that I can do. This is pretty good as well because I have the flat attack too. You cannot get attack percentage on this piece either. This is pretty decent. 7 speed, flat attack, crit rate. This is a crit damage. This is a beautiful piece with speed, crit rate, and attack. We have a crit rate one, and I have another crit damage one. Okay, basically that's what I have going. The reason why I'm not prioritizing a lot of attack is because I have the count shell, which will actually give me 1200 attack straight off the back. I do not necessarily have the best passive effects either. I have this one that gives me 20% attack. I could go somewhere up to 30%, but I've wasted probably, in total, I would say at least 3 million XP for the shells just on rerolling passives, and all I'm getting is jack shit. Okay, so I gave up. Whatever I'm getting on the passives, as long as it's somehow decent, I'll stick with that and better work on new shells. And later on, once I'm going to have enough shells, like we need 15 shells for the new content as well. Once I'm going to have 15 shells ready to rumble, that's when I'll be like, you know what? Time to work on all of the passives, try to get the mythical ones. This one right here, an epic, and increases the Animus's final damage dealt by 4.5%, which is not bad. Now, Fury and Momentum, I think, in a way or another, works the best. So Momentum will actually give you this damage increase. This is definitely a set that you need to have on. The more debuffs, the more damage you're going to do. Fury, when an Animus lands a crit, the damage result of that hit increases by an additional 12%. You could argue it and say Keen Eye is going to be really, really good. But the problem is that Keen Eye will proc on the first 3 hits. She does have a lot of multi-hits in that skill, right? When she attacks a target. And when she splashes the damage, the effect of Keen Eye is not going to be as strong as the Fury, right? Because that's still going to be 12%. That's Real Mocha. Moving on to the next character that I've used, which is Marvel. God damn it, I had to 6-star him, not too excited about that. So this Codex of Magic is maxed. I do have the Shadow Dash, 19 speed on it. The rest doesn't really matter. I do have this as well that gives me 40% effect accuracy. And even like this, we're still getting resisted a little bit, okay? I am hoping to start farming Inferno so I can drop the Codex of Magic with 3 Matrix effects on it. Like that, the shell will have 40 speed instead. So I'm going to be a bit faster. I can play a bit around with the pieces of gear to get more accuracy, because I have this flat piece, right? This is effect accuracy. This is effect accuracy. The rest do not really matter that much, but I'm quickly going to show you all of the pieces. Feel free to pause if you need to, if I'm moving too fast. I do have his first skill almost maxed. I'm not going to put another lattice into this one for a very, very long time. I do need to have the speed. You're getting 12 speed from here. And the third skill, I maxed it all the way to the effect accuracy. At some point, I will definitely put in another lattice into it, but I am working on a few different SR units at the moment, and these epic lattices are freaking hard to get as well now. Then we have Dinah. So Dinah is fully... all of my SRs are fully empowered, guys, by the way, if you're wondering. These are the stats on her. So 242 speed. Marvel was 287 speed, by the way. Everything that matters is just speed and accuracy. You see, effect accuracy, effect accuracy, effect accuracy. Speed, 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 and possibly effect accuracy. The shell on her is maxed as well, this codex. I think it is, isn't it? Is this the max one? Yes, it is the max one. Sorry. I only have Epic Shadow Dash on it. I'm not going to change it anytime soon either. I'm going to stick with it. If I could make her faster, would be perfect. But for the moment, it's fine. Then, skill-wise, I only have this one skilled up, okay? And I skilled this one at the very beginning. I think she was the very first SR or the second SR I skilled up. I'm not using Grey. I've never really been a big fan of Grey. You can see how much he dropped in the end game. Nobody's really using him anywhere, so I did not want to invest in that unit. But Dinah, on the other hand, much, much better because of the extra damage boost that she brings with this skill. Plus, she's amazing on the Terrormaton. Then, moving on to the next one, we have Kazuyo. She only has the third skill maxed, okay? I would be lying if I wouldn't say that I want to max this skill as well at some point, but she's really not a priority. The team works. I do not care if it fails 2-3 times out of 10 runs, as long as I'm farming the best possible gear from that dungeon, okay? Now, her shell is not maxed, is only at level 30. I do need to basically get a few more copies to do so, but I do not have them at the moment because I did not want to farm the dungeon more. Thankfully, I got the Shadow Dash immediately on this one as soon as I unlocked the passive, so I did not have to do any work. It only has 24 speed. Level 30 works just fine for it at the moment, and it will work like this for a long time. Total stats, basically, once again, speed and effect accuracy, guys. That's what you want to prioritize. You see, we have effect accuracy, we have effect accuracy, we have effect accuracy, and then speed, effect accuracy, speed, speed, no effect accuracy on it, unfortunately. And we have the final piece of the puzzle. Where is she hiding? There we go. So we have Tsukio Mi. Once again, you want to make her slower than all the other 3 units, but faster than your damage dealer, of course. Now, I do have another Codex of Magic on her. Shadow Dash, only a legendary one, level 29, level 34 with 29 speed on this one because I actually empowered it. probably I will work on maxing this one and then max the other one at some point. The thing is, I want to make sure that Tsukiyomi won't be faster than any of the other 3 units that I've mentioned before, okay? No skill ups on her at all. She's a very, very good unit, guys, that really got thrashed at the beginning, okay? Everybody, do not invest in her, etc. She's actually a really, really good unit. PvP, PvE, the thermometer that you're getting from here, the buffs, really solid. Not to mention that she decreases the cooldowns of skills and for shells and for characters with this, and has a chance to inflict silence. So really, really good. Then, total stats, you've seen them, but I do not care about having effect accuracy on her. All I care about is getting the right speed. As simple as that, guys. That was all for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. Hopefully some of you guys will be able to farm DokiDoki Inferno without having Kloss, without having Lily. Even if you have Lily, you have literally no way in fitting Lily onto this team, okay? Because this is a full auto team. I don't have to stay and pester in there with a targeting or anything like that, or selecting what allies to buff with Lily or crap like that, you know. So this works super, super smooth. If you enjoyed the content, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.